Gentlemen, welcome back to the Executive Outcomes channel on the Talking Pattern 83 jacket. Today we have a special guest, an SWE. Not Navy Special Warfare extravaganza, but non-standard weapons engineering. Well, let's get after it.
No, Americans usually are.
Says the white South African.
I'm from Rhodesia.
We say Zimbabwe now, don't we?
Do we?
We won't reveal our ailments and what haunts our sleep nightly in this tiny little world. We've locked ourselves in so tightly, and the dead stand between us like reefs and the people we've abandoned, the life we've surrendered to the streams. Oh, Rhodesia, I've given you my all, now I'm nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. One fire, one nail. Right by rights falter. Space by space you fail. One fire fights, one fire. One nail. Right by rights falter. Strength by space you fail. All that's left now are dreams of kings we murdered to dissect. For our meddling intellect shapes the beauteous forms of things. So we bleat a little, twist a little, rotting in the belly of the beast, while you feel you cannot be wrong. Oh, Caesar, I've given you my all, now nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. One fire fights, one fire. One nail, rights by rights falter, strength by strength you fail. One fire fights, one fire, one nail, rights by rights falter, strength by strength you fail. One fire fights, one fire, one nail, rights by rights falter, strength by strength you fail.
FALs. How do you use them? How do you shoot them? And then most importantly, how do you even spell FAL? Things that I don't know. But what I do have here with me today are experts on the FAL system. They were kind enough to meet as strangers out in the desert and shoot their guns, and so here we're going to talk about it with them today. This is not my FAL, sadly, as much as I'd love to steal it and take it home and lock it in my basement and make it put lotion on skin. Sadly, I can't do that. This FAL actually belongs to our good man here, Jared of NSWE. Also have us here. Also with us today, Spencer. I can't talk because I have big chimp energy. Jared, if you could be so kind, tell us a little bit about your FAL, a little backstory, a little bit of, you don't have to go into the detail of, you don't have to really be like a very in-depth, like this is, unless this is all prerogative, but if you want to give us like the story of how you came across it, what you guys kind of do at NSWE and so on and so forth, so feel free.
Sure. Well, I mean, at NSWE in general, a brief synopsis just of what we do. I mean, we're just a group of guys, team engineers. We put all sorts of different kits together. We just really want to bring the types of firearms that you can't just go out to the store and buy. We want to be able to build those and bring those out to the people and let everyone enjoy the authenticity and really cool stuff that these older firearms have to offer. This one here specifically is obviously by its paint pattern Rhodesian, truly South African in origin. This one was built in the summer of '67. You can tell by that there. The first Rhodesian battle rifles that came in were contract from Belgium to South Africa, and then South Africa gave them to Rhodesia, and those are the ones that have the circle cut
Moonrock wear style.
But those actually have a wood stock as correct to the Belgian FAL at the time. Now this one is made in South Africa. Back to the metric black plastic furniture, accompanied with the bush paint Everything that's on here is the original paint from the time. Obviously a new DSA receiver that we wore to match, as we often do at NSWE. It's pretty much exactly the same as the Imbel FAL, with just a few different cosmetic changes. Up here we got the grenade sight, which is something specific to the South African R1 and a couple other FALs, but our Imbel line does not have it. But it indexes there, goes like that. Grenade slips right over the top of the muzzle brake, and you can use a blank to pop that out. Right here's the electro etching that you normally find on most, if not all, of the Rhodesian kits. That at least is a good signature to look out for when you're looking for these. Some have more paint than others. On this side you can see the DSA receiver. They got the correct markings to what would have been the South African R1 of the time. This one still has the vertical takedown lever, but most of them got switched. It looked like at one time this one had the horizontal ones like the Imbel has, because the soldiers were said to have experienced when they were shooting grenades that it would actually kick back the lever and open up the firearm there. Standard selector goes all the way over there. This one doesn't have a true fun mode, but we wish it did.
Pattern wise, they're almost identical to most of the metric pattern FALs out there. It's a badass rifle. I mean, there's not much you can say about an FAL other than it's just the emulation of a beautiful rifle.
What do you think, having the opportunity to shoot the platform for the first time?
So really, I was talking about this with Spencer too. It's interesting to see kind of how it compares and contrasts, say, Bush War wise, like from a standpoint of, I'm bad when it comes to technical mechanical terms and like getting into the fine-tuned things. I can't touch you guys and what you guys do. I like to think of like the thought process of like how to implement it kind of stuff. And I think like the AK platform, of course, is much smaller, more compact than the FAL platform.
For sure.
And I was talking about with Spence, but we were going over kind of like, as Americans, we are all in general bigger dudes. So when you run and gun with an FAL, it doesn't feel that cumbersome. Now I'm sure if you were humping it for miles on end, it would probably suck after a while. But honestly, like it doesn't, like people talk about how large it is, large with an O, but it doesn't honestly like, it doesn't feel that bad. And I feel like you could load up a kit with some good weight dispersion and actually get a good usage out of it. I don't know if that's just like a weird hindsight or if I'm just missing something, but that, to me, that's kind of what I observed, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's definitely long, but slim and much lighter than you would expect for a rifle of its size, wielding that caliber.
And the ergonomics aren't. It's a little bit, the length of pull is a little bit longer than, say, an AK.
Right.
But you can kind of get past that, and of course, just the overall signature. Wait, what's the overall length of it?
Overall length is just shy of 50 inches.
50 inches,
and the barrel is 21. All right. At least for any standard FAL. We were talking a little bit about the functionality of the FAL versus the AK. I mean, the AK, as we all know, much like the AR, uses a rotating bolt mechanism, but the FAL actually is, the bolt is stacked on top of the carrier and it unlocks without having to roll right. So when you have that effect, you don't feel the torque from the bolt unlocking in the gun when you shoot it, and that gives the FAL a much different feeling when you're actually shooting it, having that bolt carrier go straight back without any rotation in there. So it acts a little bit differently because there really aren't any other rifles like that.
It's an extremely smooth recoil impulse as compared to other 308 battle rifles of the type, AR-10s, G3s, HK91, stuff like that. The FAL is just an unbelievably smooth platform. It, in my opinion, the HK guys are gonna hate me for this. The best 308 out there. But
I can hear the angry comments like getting clicked right now. What have you done to me?
We have respect for all the old firearms. I like, Galil, AK, FAL. The goal when we signed up for this and started building guns a while back was really just that we could be able to do anything and bring all these different guns from all different countries of origin to market in ways that other people haven't been able to do before.
And I mean, talking about modern functionality of the FAL too, like Mr. EO over here was saying, if you got to think about it, you really don't have a whole lot of length on these older battle rifles as you do modern guns. A lot of guys have, 14 5s or 16s with a can on the end. By the time you know it, you're already hitting 22, 21 inches of overall length or barrel length on those platforms as it is. And, as the FAL poorly suppresses, unfortunately, it's a very functional rifle. It's something that you can really be comfortable carrying around and bring it anywhere with you. I mean, there's very little game in the world that's going to go up against a 308 and be successful against that. So they're honestly great rifles. And in terms of ergonomics too, it's fairly, you can see where it has similar ergonomics to the AR. You have your mag release right here. Of course on the AR it's going to be up on the side, right? But on the other side too, you also have a corresponding bolt release where you pull it down on the FALs as opposed to push in on the AR-15 pattern rifles, as well as the selector safety. Down is fire, up is safe, and then you can bring it all the way over to auto should you wish. But yeah, badass rifles.
I can already feel the quality of this channel rising whenever they talk. And then whenever I open my mouth, they kind of like degrades back into dumpster fire level.
It's true.
It really is. Like I'm like, why do I even bother? I need to hire these guys to speak for me.
Getting that Garanthem type content now.
I gotta address an elephant in the room real quick. The first thing is I feel like there's gonna be some guys or like reenactors are gonna hate on me because I'm wearing a pattern 83 rig. But I do have short shorts on. I feel like that's gotta help. You gotta stay for something, you know what I mean? There's no Faraday chest rig with the proper FAL mags. Sue me, it's YouTube. What are you gonna do?
Well, the last thing about these guys that gets a little interesting is you have the carry handle, and sometimes if you shoot left-handed like me, that can be a problem if this gets in the way of the ejection. Brass comes back, may or may not get in the eye. That doesn't feel good, so that's something to look out for with these guns as well. And some are loose, some are tight. It's just the way it is.
Oh, hey, gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the channel. We're gonna close it out here. You can find these guys. I'll link their Instagram down below. I have a link for their website as well. They're doing great work. They're doing the Lord's work, as we would say here, and the guns. I don't know. Listen, support the channel. You can buy a shirt. There's a Patreon link down below as well. It really helps out. I had to pay these guys money to shoot their ammo, so. But of course, thanks to the Patreons, they're also going to see this video first, and I'll give them the link, and they help buy the ammo. Close out the video. So catch you on the next one.
You want to shout out to your mom?
Yeah, hey mom, I know you're kind of a communist, but I'm out here doing cool shit, so.
Say something funny.
Something funny? Welcome back to the Electric Outcomes channel. We're fixing to light it up, Moon Rock Wear style.